Well, hi.
Hey.
We're at the gym.
I know, it's been a while.
We've been sick.
It's been so lame.
It sucked so bad.
We ended up catching a cold when we went to the Awesome Conditions concert. we think it's that. It could have been just a seasonal thing, but when you're like jam-packed with a bunch of sweaty teenagers, like...
Sweaty children all the way. They made us sick.
You might catch something, and we ended up doing that. And we tried to tough it out one day, and it wasn't really a good idea. So we just took a couple days off, and now we're back fresh, feeling pretty good. Today actually was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It feels really good to be back in the gym, but I have done about 2 hours of working out.
Yeah,
so
we've been here a while, which is good.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do right now is just sort of, we've made this sort of video before, but for people who are just sort of thinking about getting in the gym and don't really know what to do, I mean, like, what I'm going to do now is like some of the easiest stuff you can do. Like every gym's going to have this. You just walk in and go. And I'll show you what you can do. This is like basic, straight up bench. Like you're going to be able to find this absolutely anywhere. So you get on there, get it so the bench is approximately lined up with your boob, man boob.
Your chesticles?
Yep, you just sit there and just push. Try to like squeeze your hands inward as you go up.
And you want to do a weight that's like heavy, but not like you can barely push it.
Yeah, somewhere you can do about like 12 reps, but the last 12 are really, the last 2 or so are really hard. Like every rep is really hard right now because I've been here for a while, but I felt good, so I'm happy. But yeah, every gym you go to, it's gonna have something like this.
And they call those chest presses?
Yep. Oh. And now I'm sure a million people in the comments are going to be like,
you're doing it wrong.
You can't get maximum gains from the machine.
Well, it does limit.
It does.
It does limit like what muscle groups you're using.
It does.
Whereas if you're using like free weights and that kind of stuff, it definitely
you could definitely get more down the line out of a bar or some dumbbells. But honestly, like if it's the first time you've ever been to the gym, I wouldn't go for like a maximum gain efficiency here. Your goal is to get in the gym, get some stuff done, get in the habit of exercising, figure out what kind of exercises you can do. If you've never been in the gym before, you don't want to jump on the bar and weight on it because you won't know how to balance it. Your muscles won't even be in a position to push, let alone like balance the bar. So, especially if you're a younger dude, you know, 13, 14, like, man, I want to start going to the gym. I'm growing up and I want to, you know, make sure I can stay strong. This is fine. Absolutely fine to get do this kind of stuff. And that way you'll also stay out of the weight section, so all these big ass dudes aren't looking down on you if you're worried about that sort of thing.
Well, I think it's good for anybody who like
down on you, but still.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't worked out at all. Like it's good to start on.
Yeah, it's good to learn. Build some muscle doing things that are relatively controlled exercises. Let your big muscles learn how to do the big weight. And later on down the line, when you get a little bit stronger, and your actual pecs and your actual triceps and your actual front of your shoulder, then you can start to learn how to do the balance with the actual bar. That's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. That's what I did. It turned out fine for me. So, come over here. We can do a little bit of, what I like to do a lot of times is I'll do chest and back together, just because after a set of chest stuff, or bench, you can just do a back exercise to rest your chest but stay active. So, this is a lat pull down. And with the back exercises, something that's really good to keep in mind, even though you are doing something that's relatively supported, it's not a pull-up. I like pull-ups too. Like I said, it's the end of my workout, and I'm talking to people who might not be super experienced in the gym. What you can do with this is really focus on having your elbow in the back of your arm be what you pull with. Don't pull with your hands, and get your arms really, really involved and just try to yank it.
I've tried to do that before, and it hurts.
No, you pull,
it's not
you pull with your elbows, because your elbows, this part of your arm is controlled by this part of your body. So you pull like this.
So you're actually using your lats to pull, which is what it is. But
yeah, so you pull with the bottom of your arm with your elbow, and that engages these big old lat muscles out to the side there. These things. So,
his wings, I call them.
Yeah, grow some wing bones. Grow some wings.
His wings.
So you get in here, get this nice and tight up on your knees so that you can do all the work with the back of your back, and the wide part of your back, and pull with your elbows. And you'll be able to feel, maybe not at first, but eventually you'll be able to feel the wide part of your back really working. And so when you get to the bottom, down here, you really want to squeeze. When you get to the top, you really want to stretch. So stretch and squeeze are two things that you really want to keep in mind. Because you don't have to use super heavy weight. But if you're able to get a good stretch and a good squeeze, you're going to exercise that muscle well, and you're going to stimulate it to grow. As long as you get some food and some rest, after good work, you'll grow some muscle.
Sleep is key for that too. Because I said sleep is key.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's like where your body actually repairs itself. So make sure you guys get a lot of sleep.
I hate that phrase, sleep is for the weak.
It's not. It actually,
If sleep is for the weak, it's only so that they can become strong again. I mean, like,
yeah.
Sleep is for the weak is for the weak. How about that? Because people who ain't sleeping, they ain't making no gains. So you can come over here. I'll do this one to warm up. There's absolutely no support involved. It's just kind of fun to be able to get some squeeze going.
These are some new machines we got for Christmas from the gym too.
Yeah, we've shown these before.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a little different. Like you put your own weight on it, but it's not like a set key thing. Like
these guys are closing up, so I don't want to put much more weight on there for 1/2 set. But you can do it like this. You get your elbows under it, and you squeeze with your chest.
So it's a lot like a bench press, but it's a little different.
Yeah. So like here, I don't really even focus on pushing as much. I focus on flexing my chest. If that makes sense. So with these machines that are super duper supported, and you're really not having to focus on holding the weight much, those give you an opportunity to really, instead of pushing, instead of trying to move the weight, what you do is you contract your muscle against resistance. You get a nice squeeze at the top, a nice stretch at the bottom, and you contract your muscle against that resistance. And you'll get a lot out of that. I mean, it's perfectly fine if you want to just like, you know, put a bunch of weight on there and just smash out reps. But for me, for a machine like this, I like to get warmed up from this sort of thing. And you just really flex your chest against this. I know I have no weight on there right now. You can still learn what that feels like.
So those little bars at top is where he'd put his weights, and he'd put those big like 45 plates on there.
You can also do it here.
I've tried that. That one's like, it's a lot more awkward to me.
Yeah, you want to keep your elbows in and push. Almost like push like this.
It feels really awkward to me.
Yeah.
But hey, if it helps somebody else, or if it works kind of a different part of your chest.
Yeah, it kind of works a little different part of your chest for sure. But yeah, so machines like this, machines like that are going to be good for learning how to flex your muscles, learn which muscles are actually used in an exercise, because there's a definite tendency of just trying to do the absolute much weight as you can do and just push it, and that's fine. You can do that in the beginning, but I definitely encourage you to have that sort of thing in mind, is that it's not really about just throwing weight around unless you're trying to be a power lifter, and then that's exactly what you want to do, just throw the weight around. But if you're trying to build muscle and get stronger, I definitely encourage you to sort of have in your mind the way mechanically your body is doing the exercise and which muscles are being used and how you want to use them. Because if you can flex your muscles in certain ways, you're going to get a lot more out of the exercise than just pushing weight around. So, that being said, we can head over to the next back exercise, which would be more of a row. We can do this row too.
You're really tall.
I'm not very tall. Let's do this row for a second.
That one? Okay.
You guys might have a machine like this too. This is like sort of counterpart to that bench machine. I'm not going to do any weight just because I don't feel like it.
They're closing and they have to always... You look so lovely though.
You're so far away, but what you do here is grab these and kind of pull them up with your arms. You want to get to about here, and the same thing I was telling you with the pull-down machine. Pull with your elbows and squeeze back, so you can get these nice wide muscles on the side of your back. Get those involved. Except with this, I feel like it's going to go a little bit more down in your back, like down the lower part. This little sweeping lat that comes around. This is what gets activated when you go at the bottom grips, and you pull with your elbows into your hips. And you'll feel it up in the top part of your back. And you can decide, like I was saying, which muscles you want to actually have involved in the exercise. So if you pull real high up, it's almost going to get your traps and your upper back. But if you pull low with your elbows, you kind of arch your back a little bit so that you can activate those muscles in your back, your lower back's going to get a lot out of this. And it's going to help you take steps into building that big V of your back. I still don't have it where I want it, but that's part of the thing that you can do. So I'm going to hop over here, do some of these little cable cross chest exercises. And see if you can see what we're doing here. We're kind of going right back and forth between
chest and back,
chest, back. And you can do this because, like I said, your chest will be recovering while you're doing your back exercises, and your back will be recovering while you're doing your chest exercises. So you can stay moving, you can stay active, stay involving your muscles, and stay nice and warm, and get lots and lots of work done in a short amount of time. Or you wouldn't be resting anyway. So, and if you can be really, really efficient, you can combine back and chest into one day and have shoulder day and leg day coming around more often. And shoulder day and leg day, probably the most important ones for me because they need the most work. So here, you can come straight out in front of you, and this is really nice to be able to just focus on the squeeze, the stretch, and the squeeze, and you're always going to keep tension between the weight and your muscles. You never just want to let it like drop and then come back again. I mean, like you can, there's value in that, but the way I'm talking about it is you're pretty much constant tension, constant stretch and squeeze. So you can come straight out with it. You can bring it up a little bit higher to target higher in your chest. Same thing. And I'm using really, really low weight here. One, because I'm tired. Two, because you don't need the heavy weight. If you do the exercise really, really cleanly,
and do high reps.
It'll count. And I'll alternate a lot of times, because if you realize, like, I'll do chest, back, legs, shoulders, and I'll have that sort of rotation like that, and I'll sort of alternate every other time I do the muscle group, whether I'll go really, really heavy and like lift really, really hard, or slow it down a little bit and do real focused reps, because I feel like that helps me out. Last thing, this little rotation, we can do this kind of row. This is going to be very, very similar to that row we did over there. But here it's a little higher. You start a little bit higher. This one, that other one was kind of like a low row. So you're going to pull like this and get really, really deep into your lower back like that. This is kind of a higher row. It gives you a chance to get
between your shoulder blades, I feel like.
Shoulder blades, exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. I like to have my legs pretty tight in here. Get a nice grip of this. Now, something that's interesting that I read about and learned about is that you can let this come all, like you can let if you let this become fully extended, but keep holding it, it's kind of good for your traps. But if you're only worried about your back, you can stop it like right here and let your lat take care of the weight when it's sort of at the resting position, the stretch position. So this is for your lat, not your lat, this is for your trap, your neck. If you let it stop here and just hold it, or this is for your back if you stop it here. So it's two different things you can do. Regardless, the idea is the same. Pull it and crunch a Coke can or a beer can, whatever. Crunch something between your shoulder blades. Like, of course, not actually, but think about that. Think about bringing your shoulder blades in real close together, really squeezing your back together, and lighting all those muscles right in the upper part of your back on fire. And you can also target your lower lat by doing something like this. But of course, all of that exercise, all of that targeting of your lower lat is going to come from the way you use your elbow, the way you focus on your elbow, pulling back, driving that into the back part of this. So all this muscle right there really flexes it, does a lot of the work. So lots of different ways. And I actually use this machine on my shoulder days. I actually put the weight on real low on my shoulder days and pull it just like this. So it hits the back of your shoulder. But I guess we'll get to that a different day. But yeah, so if you guys are thinking about going to the gym, you want like a really, really basic set of exercises that you can do in order to just get in the gym, do something. The things that we just showed you would be a nice little start. And building a strong chest and a strong back, always a good start. That's what I used to do when I was really starting to get into working out. I had a 2-day cycle. I would do chest and back, and I would do arms and legs. That's all I would do. Just a lot of bench press, a lot of pull-ups. The next day I would do a lot of curls and a lot of squats. And that was pretty much all I did in order to sort of try to get my body into working out hard and making progress. And so that's what I did. So if you guys are looking for a sort of basic starter thing to do, here's some easy back chest exercise that you'll probably find at any gym that you go to. And get in there, give it a try, let me know how it goes. All right, guys, time to head home because these guys are closing up and I don't want to keep them. So thanks for watching. We're feeling better, back in the gym, which is always nice, and it's good to see you guys.
Back in the gym.
Back in the gym. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Peace.